And let's just get started. Does anyone have questions that they want to pop off and ask?
I do.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, I'm in like 80 days, 85 days, third ULT, 2 parasite cleanses, doing mostly fruit, and then in the evening doing cooked vegetables, but a lot of detox symptoms, chronic 25 years of Lyme, undiagnosed, and then don't have the genetics to get rid of the toxins. So this Purium has been a game changer, but I'm really detoxing big time. And I'm not sure, am I supposed to slow it down? A lot of headaches, a lot of achiness, not all day, but just not sure. Am I supposed to? It's been like a week of just major detox symptoms, doing Epsom salt baths every day. I think I could sometimes do it twice a day. And I'm just not sure. Do I just keep doing it? Because I think it's going to be a long process of detox.
Yeah, so there's such a balance with detox, and it really just depends on your goals. If you've been dealing with like a chronic 25-year issue, it's going to be a pretty intense detox. And my teacher, Dr. Robert Morse, he says that in order to like really fully detox the full body, head to toe, it's about a 7-year intense process.
Wow.
If you're really going for it. So that being said, though, you also have to evaluate with your goals of like how quickly are you looking to get to the other side? And if you're really wanting to get there quicker, then going through heavier detox is probably like just keep going. But if it's becoming to the point where it's like debilitating and you're not able to work, or there's a chance where maybe you want to slow it down and just it's going to take longer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just wondered, is there any research like, okay, if I add in a little bit more food, like even today, major headache, like a 9 pain-wise, but I'm used to pain.
Mhm.
And I ate some food and usually it would go away, but it's not. And it's just affecting me building this as a business, or at least it's affecting me mentally to want to do it because I'm hurting.
Mhm.
And just trying to find the balance between listening to my body and pushing through.
Yeah. So in those moments, like if you have I would just try to take a rest. Like if you have a really bad headache, even 30 minutes sometimes, right, is going to do us better than trying to like strain our eyes and stare at the computer for an hour and we don't get much done. So really listen to your body. If you have debilitating headaches, just try to get some sleep, try to rest. And the number one thing that I check when I'm detoxing is my kidneys. So have you been doing the kidney filtration test?
No, I need to. I think Rita, everybody's told me to. I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah.
So that's kind of the indicator as to if you can start introducing other foods as well, because when your kidneys are filtering good and you're going through major detox, you're like, okay, I'm going through detox, but I know it's coming out because my kidneys are filtering. And where people get in trouble is they start going through major detox, but their eliminative channels aren't working properly. And so it's getting backed up. And so number one, you want to make sure your kidneys are filtering, because if they're not, you may need to slow it down a little bit because your body might actually just be getting backed up. But if they are filtering and you're going through intense detox, it's going to come out. So that's a good thing. Also, if they're filtering and you decide to start incorporating a little bit more whole foods, a little bit more cooked foods, you can do that. And then you can check your kidneys again and see if they continue to filter. And if they stop filtering with the reintroduction of other foods, then okay, at this point in time, this is clogging up my detox process. And in order to really fully detox, you've got to keep those kidneys open, have really good bowel movements, be saunas, steamers, getting it out through the skin, through the lungs. So kidneys to me are the number one indicator as to whether should I slow this down, should I speed it up, should I integrate other stuff. It's all based on if what you were trying to get out is getting out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. Quick question. This is Pamela Hanamoto. I'm Jennifer's mom, Jennifer Rosen's mom. I've just finished my 30 days. When you're listening to you talking, how do you do a kidney filtration test?
Yeah, totally. I'm glad you asked. So basically what it looks like, it's best to do it when you haven't eaten or drinking anything for, ideally you say 12 hours, but that's not always the case. But so basically first thing in the morning, what you do is go into the bathroom and actually pee into a jar and
Okay.
let that jar sit for a little bit. And you can look at it in the sunshine. And if you're detoxing, you should actually see sediment in your urine, because what that means is the acidic ash that you're detoxing out of your body is moving through your kidneys and being eliminated. If you are in a
How long does it need to sit
usually
before I look at it?
sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, just to kind of let the sediment.
Uh-huh.
But it should almost look like
Good.
dandruff, or like a snow globe when you shake it, because that means that you're detoxing, you're getting the stuff out. But if
Awesome.
if you've just completed a detox and you don't see any sediment, then it means, that your kidneys maybe aren't open as much as they could be, and you're not getting out what's being stirred up. So you can definitely
Okay.
work with Jen and Carrie on ways to open up the kidneys more. But really what opens the kidneys is, citrus is really good for the kidneys. Cherries, our tart cherry drink concentrate is so good for the kidneys. You
Love it.
double up on that. Watermelons are really good for the
Okay.
kidneys. And then
Yep.
sometimes even additional herbal support, like juniper berries and oat straw and different herbs can be incorporated as teas or tinctures to kind of get those channels opening up more as well.
Okay. Yeah, I've talked with them and they've already helped me make the decision, and I've got the products to start my second 30-day
Great.
cleanse.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm just going to keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt your conversation with the other lady.
No, that's
Kind
great.
of hijacked it there.
It was good. And I mean, I really say the success lies in the 90 days at least. The first 30 days is like such a great place to start. And sometimes it's enough for people depending on their goals. But for those of us really looking for that bigger transformation, the 90 days or 60 days.
Yeah. So for me, as you know, I think I talked to you once before about, for me, I really need to get my blood sugars down, and I have a serious addiction to sugar. And I mean, I'm doing good. I haven't been on anything sugar other than natural fructose from my fruits, but off all other sugars for probably 4 months now.
Wow.
But I've got to get my blood sugars down so I'm not pre-diabetic. And more importantly than that, I just want it clear out of my system so I don't hunger for it anymore. I don't crave it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not there yet, but I haven't even cheated with sugar. I'm just loving this plan so much. I actually, even my whole 30 days, I really have only had like 4 cooked meals because I'm loving eating raw. I love it. I just love it. I love all fruits and vegetables, and I'm just having a blast.
Well, congratulations. That's huge. And that's amazing, and definitely when you know that you're in a space of quitting is when you feel those cravings going away. It means the body's, the chemistry's rebalanced, and you're getting more alkaline in. So just keep going. You're doing amazing, and I'm glad you're having fun, because that's most important.
Yeah, if I hated it or I'm just feel so bad, I'm going to pray for the other lady on the call, because is it Mary Beth? Is she the other person on? Just I feel so bad because I just am sad anybody's in so much pain and having headaches. So I'll be praying for her.
Yeah, and part of detox, sometimes it has to get worse before it gets better. And that is part of everyone's detox journey is different. Some people feel really, really good, and other people have some other, genetic things they're working through, and some deeper chronic things that sometimes it has to get worse before it gets better. But
I had the headaches when I tried to get off of the coffee at the very beginning. And even though I only had 1 cup of coffee a day, I don't think I was addicted to caffeine, but for some reason my body didn't like the fact that I just went cold turkey off of coffee. So I am now down on my 30-day cleanse. Carrie just said, just start doing a little bit less every day. And so I got down to 4 ounces, and now I have the dandelion tea. And on this 30 days, I'm going to try again to go to no coffee. So
Awesome. Congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah, sometimes it can be way more beneficial to go little bit by little bit rather than kind of shock the system all at once. So
Yeah.
you're listening
Yeah.
to your body.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anyone else have some questions? This space. Yep.
I do have another question if nobody else, I don't want to hog your time. So if someone else has a question, I can wait.
It doesn't seem like it at this time, so go ahead.
Okay, so my question for you today, I talked to Jennifer this morning and she wanted me to come on the call and ask, is this. So during my, second 10 days where I'm supposed to be all raw, and I start taking is it called Super Cleanse R?
Mhm.
That kills the parasites. Well, I got to the end of my 10 days and I was talking to Jennifer and she said, well, you should be out of that. And I said, no, I have a lot left. And it turns out she had told me to take 2 a day and I was supposed to be taking 4. So we asked Carrie what to do. Carrie said, just keep going on the raw the last 10 days and just take the rest of the pills and take 4 a day. So I did that. So now my question is, Jennifer said, if the parasites were killed, that they lay eggs and that there's a certain time period where you want to go back on the R for my second 30. But because I kind of went from day 10 to day 30 on the R, she didn't think I should be doing it again just in the second 10 days of this round. And she said, find out when. Since I stopped yesterday, I finished all of my R. She said, ask when you should start it again.
Yeah, so that's a great question. And I would say start back up on day 20 of your second ULT.
Okay, day 20. Okay.
Yeah, and the reason being is that it's true. So when we start to kill off parasites and funguses and bacterias, especially the parasites, they actually lay eggs because they're like, whoa, I'm dying. I need to reproduce and keep my species alive. So they do lay eggs. And typically those eggs hatch between days 15 and 20. So if you follow it up the second round around, give it 20 days, that way you can kind of get those eggs before they do the same thing.
So what happens if they do the same thing and lay more eggs?
Well, and that's why a lot of us, I suggest people do a parasite cleanse after they've done, their 90 days of the ULT. I suggest people doing parasite cleanse anywhere from 1 to 4 times a year, depending on, depending on if you have animals or if you travel a lot or, how good you wash your food, because we're exposed to parasites all the time. And a lot of times as we build stronger immunity and as our gut gets stronger and as our system gets more alkaline, our body actually can just filter those through, because parasites and funguses, they don't live in an alkaline environment. They really like a sugary, starchy, oily environment. That's what it lives off of. So it's really about creating the environment where, if you're exposed to them, they come and they're like, oh, well, there's no food for me here. And so the body just expels them. So over time, your body can become more resilient with fighting things off. But it takes time for sure.
Okay, that's really good to know. Okay, so I'm going to go day 20 and then we'll see about doing the parasite cleanse 4 times a year after I'm off of ULT. Okay, I wrote notes. Perfect. Thank you.
I personally I think a ULT every season is a great thing.
So do the 30-day cleanse 4 times a year, the first of every quarter, first month?
Yeah, personally, I mean, I'm nursing and pregnant, so I don't do the super cleanser, but I do a accelerated where I'm taking everything 2 to 3 times a day. I do that 4 times a year. And once I'm done nursing, I'll be on the
Great.
site protocol myself. So yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations on the baby
Thanks.
and nursing. I'm an advocate.
Yay. Well, Purium has definitely helped in that area. I can say that. If you have any mamas or friends, Purium is amazing for creating good milk and just postpartum depletion, all of that.
Well, that's good to know too. I have a neighbor who just had a baby in December, and I just saw her for the first time. She went on a walk by my house and I got to see her and we talked, and so she's going to come by again soon. So I will mention it to her. I'm sure she's got a little bit of baby weight to lose too. So
yeah, the Core 4 is really amazing for postpartum mamas. So
great.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of that. You jogged my thought life. So I do talk to a lot of moms, new moms. So I will totally be referring those people over.
Yeah, and congratulations, Pamela, and Jen is having such great success helping so many people with this. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
it's really exciting.
I'm really happy for her. She's loving it. And in fact, she's going to do a video interview with me on Saturday, I think. So I'm just feeling so good. My skin is so good. I had my hands breaking out in these, I thought it was like some kind of a psoriasis or on my hands. And it's actually got worse during the cleanse, but now it's almost completely healed and my hands haven't looked this good in years. I'm down 17 pounds. I just am so happy. And the thing I love the most is I don't do hardly any dishes. I eat a watermelon in the morning with half a watermelon, small one with a spoon, and throw the rind away.
Yes. The best kind of fast food.
Right? I never realized. I mean, the avocado with a little garlic salt and I'm good to go. So I love it. Peel an organic orange and there's no dishes. It's great.
Yeah, and I'm glad you bring up the about your rash on your hand getting a little worse, because that does often happen. Like I was saying, sometimes our symptoms will be exaggerated as our body's getting that out, because a lot of times our symptoms have been suppressed and pushed down layer by layer. And so detoxing is kind of like peeling the layers of an onion off. You get over that first layer and then there might be some gunk left in that second layer and third layer. It's really a process of rejuvenating our cells, and we have trillions of cells. And so in order for them to be rejuvenated, they have to expel whatever's hiding in there and whatever acid is stuck in there. So sometimes, things can get worse for a period of time, but as long as we're eliminating properly and continuing to nourish, we move to the other side of that. So I'm glad to hear that happen for you.
Yeah, I always thought I had an allergy. I always thought I was allergic to citrus. If I peel an orange and get that oil on my hands, it seemed like I would break out, or if I had lemon in my water. And even at the beginning of the detox, I was trying to do lemon water in the morning with my watermelon. And my hands got just way worse. And Carrie said, well, just cut out the lemon and see how it goes. Well, where I got my worst flare up was when I did the anti-parasitic part of it with the, what's it called? Super cleanse I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, that's when it got the worst. And I told Jennifer, I said, oh my God, do you think this breakout in my hand is from a parasite? And she was like, it could be. And I can't even get over it because it got worse. And now it's like almost completely gone. And my hands, there's almost a little bit of a residual scar, but the dryness, the bumps, the itchiness, everything is gone.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really amazing. So congratulations.
Thank you.
I have a question. And I also want to welcome Maureen and Kathy, who are our newest members to the ULT under Kim. They're going through a detox, so welcome, and don't hesitate to ask questions here. The question is for one of my clients who is also from the chronic inflammatory response syndrome community, having an undigested food, and just the curiosity around how long, you know, how long will it take before we start to see, you know, food being more digested or less undigested food in our stool? And just kind of, if you can speak to that. I know there's a couple people that also might benefit from the answer to this.
Yeah, that's a, you know, that one can take time, and I can't give a definitive when it will happen. But I can say the more you work on your gut microbiome and the more you work on your pancreas and the more you work on your liver, the quicker it will happen. So all of these foods that we're taking with Purium, you know, greens, especially bitter greens, are so good for the liver. And, you know, all the nutrients that we're doing is helping to support the pancreas and the liver and the kidneys. So it may be something that you want to look into additional pancreatic herbal support if it's really not getting any better. But I would also say doing the biomedic and doing a higher dosage of it, working your way up to it. Obviously, you know, you can work your way up to 4 capsules a day, but the biomedic is really going to help go in there and regrow the villi of our food so that we're really absorbing the nutrients out of it. But breaking down food, a lot of it has to do with the amount of hydrochloric acid in your stomach as well. So one thing that I could suggest is doing the celery shots in the morning to get that hydrochloric acid going so that your body is breaking down your food more. And also the barley grass juice with Purium, it does very similar things. So you can take that first thing in the morning with your aminos, and that can help. So I would just say, I don't know how long it'll take for people, but I would say the focus is really on the biomedic and getting the gut villi to regrow so that we're really absorbing the nourishment, and then also really focusing on the pancreas and the liver. So there's different teas you can drink to support that. Dandelion tea is great. But those would kind of be my areas of focus. Does that help?
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Just wanted some guidance. And then welcome. I see Kim Lindbergh popped in here, and some of her people are in here. So just welcome, and feel free to ask any questions.
Can I ask a question for a client who didn't pop on?
Sure.
She has, I'm trying to remember, Michelle, I think she's got, she had pancreatic cancer that moved to her stomach. And she just started the ULT, and she's doing a tablespoon of shake, 1 amino, and the tart cherry juice. And I don't know why she's not taking the biomedic, but she just had chemo, and I guess we had heard that you don't do those things. Is it 3 days prior and 1 day after chemo? So she didn't. But is it okay for her to like start increasing? Gauge it on, like she said she was gassy the first day doing the 1 tablespoon of shake. Is that typical?
Yeah, again, it's gonna have to be an intuitive process of really listening to the body, because when you've gone through chemo, your body is pretty out of whack. And you're in a chemo is very acidic on the body. So as you start to incorporate alkaline foods, you can start to feel gassy or bloating or different things, because basically when you're increasing the amount of fiber and increasing the amount of alkalinity, it's your body's changing its chemistry when it's going from very acidic to very alkaline. So she can start increasing it if she's done with her therapy, and she's just going to have to really gauge it for herself, and also know that getting chemo out of the body is a process, you know, like getting your body balanced after that. So there's probably going to be a level of uncomfortability there. But the biomedic is a chelator. So I would also suggest she starts on that slow, because if there is any kind of residue from the chemo in there and she starts gently detoxing that, you don't want it to be too fast of a process, because her body is really working to heal some other things right now. So the primary focus is just really supporting the organs and really supporting the pathways of elimination. So yes, a little bit of bloating and those things and gas is common, and just have her start incorporating more fruits, more hydrating foods. She might have to do with the steamed veggies right now instead of just purely raw, because the steamed might be easier for her to digest at this point in time. So just have her start incorporating more fruits and more steamed veggies, and then slowly start upping her intake. And you know, she might have to just she might have to start with like 1 biomedic for a whole week or 2 weeks, and then amp up to 2, and just like really listen to her body and how she's feeling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and just to clarify really quick, we're going to get her schedule dialed in, but is the biomedic the only piece that we have to alter 3 days before and 1 day after? But everything else, she should be able to incorporate in a meaningful way while she's doing it. Can she still take the shake during chemo? Can she still take the cherry juice? Can she still take the aminos during chemotherapy? It's just the biomedic we're tweaking.
Yeah, you know, that's something you definitely want to actually ask the oncologist, because I know there are some cases where I've heard of people going through chemo and their doctors actually say that the antioxidants will have adverse effects with the chemo. So, you know, I'm not an oncologist by any means. So I would just really run the ingredients by them. But I know a handful of people also that have gone through chemo and done little bits, primarily the greens, you know, and like the biofruit and stuff like that. But again, you have to double check on the antioxidant thing, and just make sure you're asking everyone that's involved for their feedback. Cool. We probably have time for 1 or 2 more questions. Is anyone else? You can pop off too and share your experience. I love to use this space as a time to share testimonials. So if you don't have any questions, but you want to share how it's going for you so far, I know we all learn from each other too. So feel free to pop off and share in that way.
Can I ask one more question? Husband has a stomach that's, he had a sleeve done years ago to make his stomach smaller. He on second day of the ULT, but I had been giving him products for 3 months, but just he wasn't ready to do what I'm doing, and now he's doing what I'm doing. Just anything in relation to the sleeve. I mean, he never lost. I wish I had known and we hadn't done it. But so he's missing, you know, a big part of his stomach, and there's a whole bunch of issues, insulin resistance, leptin. I haven't really gotten to if there's a root cause that we're missing, like a toxin issue. I've seen some positive shifts as he's been eating alkaline, not the way I am, but eating alkaline and using the products, and histamine reactions and stuff. But I know when we had muscle tested him for like betaine hydrochloric acid, he was up to like 18 betaine at each meal. So I mean, we're not doing anything other than Purium right now, but anything to consider.
Yeah, you know, that's an area that I'm not totally sure about. I just know that we have to adjust. So I would just continue to ease into it. Like you say, is he getting too full or anything is he doing everything twice a day?
He's been doing, we just started twice a day with the shakes. Everything else had been twice a day for the last 80 days. And I've seen an improvement. I mean, his goal would be to lose weight and improve blood sugar because he's now diabetic, but he eats healthy. He does everything. He walks every day. He does a lot of right stuff, but the weight hasn't come off. And I keep thinking it's an acidity issue. It's a toxin issue that maybe we haven't diagnosed, and this is the way to go.
Yeah, and it could also be, you know, the pathways of elimination too. There's so many reasons why people hold on to weight, and it can even be an emotional issue. You know, so there's so many elements to that, but I would definitely just keep him going on the path. And one thing that I've noticed is that when the body is ready to let go, it will. We just have to get it to a point where it is ready to let go. So I know for me, when I first started and I transitioned to all fruit and all raw, there was a period where I actually gained weight because my body was just so craving the nourishment. And so sometimes that actually happens where people hold on to their weight a little bit because their body's just like craving the nutrition and it's just like sucking it up and it's sucking up the hydration. A lot of people maybe gain or hold on to a little bit of water weight in the beginning, but as soon as you start getting those pathways of elimination open, you'll start to see that shifting. And a lot of time it is dead cellular waste and dead acidic material that's just needs to be moved out and is still holding on a little bit. So what I would say is, again, it might be a little bit of a longer path for him, but to keep going and moving forward and increasing it as you can, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. Perfect sense. Thanks.
And maybe Carrie, I know you're on here. Maybe you don't have to pop on if you can't, but she's talking about a stomach sleeve. So I don't know if you have any words of thought on there.
I mean, with the stomach sleeve, there's something you can't undo it. You need to be really diligent that you're getting enough proper nutrition. So my focus would be the amino acids in the fruits, because fruits don't need any additional support from the pancreas. They're really digested by the saliva. So he's gonna get the most nutrients from like the biofruits, eating fruits in the super aminos 23. And then because our shakes are like, basically kind of like pre-digested, he's gonna have more nutrition coming in because it's bioavailable. But it's so weird that this came up in this call. My brother, I just found out about the surgery today or yesterday. And can you take him? I was so sad. It just like broke my heart. Like, hold on. So wild over here. But yeah, it's just do your best to rebuild and just get in what you can. And then with the weight, Mary Beth, you're right on. I gained weight in the beginning of water as my body was hydrating because it was so dehydrated from cellular acidosis, and my pathways weren't open. And then when my kidneys kind of opened up, I just lost. I lost like 30 pounds. So yeah, it was a temporary, and I panicked. So I was like, why am I gaining weight? I knew fruit was bad for me. Like, it was like me reconfirming I couldn't eat fruit sugar or something. But it was just my body just like holding on to that hydration.
Thanks.
So would you recommend swapping out the Power Shake for like a BioFruit green spectrum drink, but still doing the core 4, but replacing that shake with maybe the BioFruit instead? Or when would you recommend that, if so?
Yeah, I mean, see how his stomach is doing it. How is he tolerating it? Obviously, if he eats foods and he does okay. I mean, how long has the sleeve been?
He's had the sleeve 4 or 5 years, but he's gained weight since the sleeve, and I'm a health coach. He's not overeating. He's got a ton of food sensitivities, insulin resistance, leptin resistance, adrenal issues. Like it's just been getting frustrating.
Liver, gut, kidney, adrenal, lymph. So those are the things that are going on. So you need to heal the gut. So you're right on track with the biomedic, and just getting the plaque out and getting absorption happening. And with the sleeve, I don't think they bypass the small intestine. Is that correct?
Correct. No, they don't.
So that's great. So honestly, his system's just backed up. He needs to get the systems of flow open, get the kidneys filtering, get the lymph moving, waste out. And then when you repair the tight junctions in the gut lining, then we start to reverse some of that liver damage that comes from the leaking of the gut into the lymphatic system, and then the liver keeping it up. And then the liver kind of has to take up all of those chemicals and everything, the toxins that are coming in, and we get fatty liver. And fatty liver creates all sorts of things like autoimmune and insulin resistance and elevated blood sugars and all of the things that it sounds like he's dealing with. So I would recommend eating more consistently. I would recommend breaking fast between 7 and 8 in the morning at the latest, eating fruits like really every 90 minutes, like staying on that every 90 minute, like fruits and superfoods and veggies, and keeping the fats low so that your body's properly processing fruits, and not eating fruits with fat is going to be essential. And just start healing slowly. It's going to probably be more of a 90-day process or longer for him.
Yeah, I'm hoping he'll stick with it. Like, I'm hoping he'll stick with it because he's frustrated that he'll see some results. I've seen shifts. We had,
How long has he been on it?
well, for 90 days, for about 80 days, he's been on all the products. And I was giving him alkaline vegan meals. So he was getting lentils and chickpeas. But so it wasn't the full protocol. Now he's just 2 days into the full protocol after 80 days of the biomedic and just not following the diet the way I am.
Okay, yeah, get him on the diet, on the fruits and vegetables, drop off the nuts, the beans for now. If he really has transitioned slowly and he's ready for that next step, if he wants the results, I think he just needs to go all in.
Yeah.
If he's had like an 80-day prep, usually we say like let people go in slowly, but he's done that. So if he wants to change, I would say jump in. I'm sure Mary Beth would say the same. Like it's time to get in there. And if the shakes aren't resonating, yeah, you could switch out for a biofruit green spectrum blend, or you could do the kids chocolate shake. Instead, that might be a little bit, has some of the biomedic in it, the aminos in it, the cherry juice in it. But I think that he's on the right track. He just needs to, it's like what you get from Purium is such deep foundational cellular nourishment and gut healing herbs, which are great. So he's probably digesting better. But if you don't get the rest of your diet plan on board, you're just going to be having more energy and more nourishment, right? Like it's not a magic pill that can just make your kidneys filter because you take aminos. So it's more of like he's being supported on the nourishment level, but in order to really release the weight and reverse the damage, you have to get to the alkaline side of the fence.
Yeah. No, I've seen a shift. His histamine, his reactions to food have really decreased. There's been a huge shift in that. And we had some bowel movements that were like white. So I knew the liver, I thought, was cleansing, which I thought was positive. And it was just like a day or two, but I thought that was awesome.
Getting the lymphatic waste out. So
Thanks.
awesome, you guys. I actually have to pop off because I got another call to pop on here, but I really appreciate you all being here today, and I hope you learned a lot and got some of your questions answered. And then we're here every week, so same time, same place. So I actually believe Carrie is going to be leading next week. So Carrie Drinkwine, who just popped on. So.
And Sunday I'm leading at 11:15.
No.
All right. I gotta deal with Tyler. Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone. And the replay for this will be up in our Regenerative Health app. So if you have anyone that you wanted to share it with that didn't make it, I'll get that up there. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much.